Hey man, there comes a time in every man's life when he finally wakes up to his own worth. Not because someone told him, but because of what they lost when he walked away. When a woman leaves a man like you, she doesn't just lose love. She loses access to an energy she'll never touch again. You were calm in her chaos, loyal when she was uncertain, grounded when everyone else was drifting. But because you didn't beg, because you didn't chase, because you stayed still, while she ran toward the illusion of something better, she mistook your peace for weakness. What she never realized is that she was walking away from the last man who would have loved her with both depth and discipline. The last man who would have fought for her, not with noise, but with consistency. And that is something she'll never find again. Because it wasn't just you she lost. It was the version of herself that only existed when she was loved by a man like you. She'll go out there, meet men who make her laugh, men who give her attention, men who look the part, but what she won't find, not once, is that same stillness she felt in your presence. You didn't need to impress her. You didn't chase validation. Your presence was enough. And that's what she didn't understand, that a man who doesn't need validation becomes the most validating experience a woman will ever have. Every time she meets someone new, she'll compare him to the quiet standard you set. She'll notice how easily they get angry, how quickly they fold under pressure, how desperate they are to please her instead of challenge her. And she'll remember how you never bent to her emotions, how your strength forced her to face herself. That's why she'll never forget you, because you weren't just another man she dated. You were the mirror she ran from. The world today makes men disposable. There's always another guy in her DMs, another man waiting to take her out. Options everywhere, but no substance. And she'll learn, painfully, that options mean nothing when none of them feel real. You were real. You didn't play games. You didn't pretend to be mysterious. You were just you. Your authenticity demanded vulnerability. And that terrified her, because you saw through her filters, through the emotional games, through the power plays. You saw her soul, and that scared her more than anything. So she ran, thinking she could find something easier. But she'll learn soon. The easy ones never stay, and the ones who stay are never easy. When a woman meets a man with emotional control, it disrupts her entire sense of power. She's used to being the one who decides when it starts, when it stops, when it ends. She's used to men chasing, begging, apologizing. But you didn't chase. You didn't crumble. You didn't worship her moods. You stayed calm. And that silence, that composure, was your loudest message. It's easy to find men who talk right, but rare to find one who doesn't lose himself when tested. You showed her what emotional discipline looks like, and now that she's tasted it, she'll never be satisfied with anything less. Because no matter how hard she tries to forget, her soul remembers the peace she felt with you. She might post pictures with new men. She might act happy, but it's all noise. Deep down she knows. Attention fades. But the way you made her feel, safe, seen, challenged, that never fades. Every new connection will feel emptier than the last, because love built on validation always collapses. What you gave her was presence, and presence can't be bought, can't be simulated, can't be replaced. You weren't performing love, you were love, and that scared her, because real love demands growth. You made her confront her immaturity without ever saying a word, and now she's trapped in the very cycle she created, chasing the same emptiness she ran toward. When a woman loses a grounded man, she doesn't lose affection. She loses direction, because your steadiness was the anchor she never realized she needed. You didn't fight her emotions. You contained them. You didn't beg for respect. You commanded it. And now, every man after you will pay for that comparison, because you didn't need her compliance to be masculine. You were masculine regardless. And when she meets men who talk loud, but act small, that's when the regret begins. Slow, quiet, painful. She'll replay every moment, every argument, Every time she thought your calm was indifference, she'll realize you weren't detached. You were disciplined. You loved her, but you never lost yourself for her. And that is what makes you unforgettable. Because men like you don't move on out of revenge. You move on out of awareness. You don't react. You evolve. You don't chase. You choose. You don't need closure. You're closure. She'll never meet another man like you again. Because she's not supposed to. Some men aren't meant to be replaced. They're meant to be remembered. You weren't her forever. You were her awakening. And while she's still stuck replaying the past, you'll be far ahead, walking in silence, building peace so rare. She'll never believe she once had access to it and threw it away. That's why she'll never find another you. Because the kind of man who finds himself can never be replaced.